Hey everyone, so welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another video. I'm feeling pretty consistent, which is great. This video is basically going to be media of the month, which I want to make it a little series. It's basically just going to be a list of media that I've watched in the last month. So this is going to be everything that I watched in the month of March, which there's a lot of alliteration with the letter M going on, but yeah, this is media of the month. And I was going to call it movies of the month, but I do want to expand it to TV shows, and hopefully with some next couple of videos I'm going to do other sorts of media like documentaries, music, but for now I'm just going to stick to movies. Fun fact about me is that I love films, I love movies, documentaries. I avidly, oh my hair is caught. I love my films. Yes, I'm just gonna go in what I've watched this month, and I actually watched so many films and I've picked up my favourites from this. Not everything I've watched because this isn't even all of it, but anyways, I hope you enjoy the video. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe. I am trying to grow my channel this year, so I really appreciate it. If you click the subscribe button, it will take you 2 seconds. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much. Yeah, let's just get on with the video. So the first section of this video is going to be coming of age indie movies. I do secretly love an indie movie that's very fun, enjoyable for everyone. I feel like everyone secretly loves a little coming of age film. I feel like they're just so happy. They always go through this little emotional storyline that ends up, you know, someone finds their happiness, and who doesn't love that? I feel like it's always nice to watch films like that. So the first film I'm going to be talking about is Lady Bird, which, as you all know, Saoirse Ronan, Timothée Chalamet. It's got a great cast. Honestly, casting was 10/10 on this one. This movie was great. I love the emotional storyline that this has and the relationship that it shows between Lady Bird, her real name is Christine, and her mother, and it just goes through this turmoil between them. And watching it for a second time, I really picked up on the dialogue between them and how it shows her mum, and when she's interacting with other people, that is how Christine wants, well, Ladybird, that is how Ladybird wants her mum to talk to her and wants her to understand, but she only sees that side of her when talking to other people. There's so many scenes in this where, for example, at the start she's at work and she gifts a colleague a little baby present, and she just talks about how cute it is and this little pink dress. Later on to the end of the movie, they're in a charity shop and Lady Bird wants to buy this pink dress, and they end up getting an argument because she says, "Isn't that too pink?" and it ends up resulting in an argument where you can see that there's a disconnect between them. So Lady Bird believes that her mum hates her and that she doesn't just like who she is, and I'm not trying to say that her mum was the nicest person in the world. There are some scenes in this film that really irritated me, but you can see it's coming from a place of love, which at the end you can really see that. For her mum, I think that Lady Bird is a reflection of how she used to be, and she sees herself in that, which angers her. She sees this young teenage girl who has so much hope, she has all these desires, you know, she wants to get out of her small town, and deep down I think her mum just doesn't want her to leave, but that's all she wants at the end of the day. Lady Bird is in a town where she feels like she doesn't fit in, she feels like she belongs elsewhere. Lady Bird is a character who I really love. She is just full of so much hope and creativity, and I really admire that about her. She has this kind of desire to break a generational curse that she has. Lady Bird's mother said that her mum was an abusive alcoholic, and you can see that is a reason why she acts out in the way she does, because that's normal to her. Lady Bird just wants compassion, she just wants love, and she just wants someone who's understanding, and she feels she can't have that, and that is heartbreaking for her. Yeah, there's many times in this film where you can see how her mum portrays a negative image onto herself, which she does not want to hear that. There's a lot of time when she says, you know, you're not being the best version of yourself, you're lazy, you know, you're just gonna end up in jail, and just kind of talks her down, which no one wants to hear that. But yeah, really loved Lady Bird. Obviously I do love me an A24 film, so I am slightly biased, but definitely go watch it if you haven't. Greta Gerwig did absolute wonders with this. I love the cinematography. I just loved everything. I love the kind of authentic film like feel that it had to it. I just, yeah, 10/10, loved it. And watching this also reminded me that I need to go watch Barbie, because I still haven't, which is so bad of me. I'm a bad woman and I'm sorry, but I will watch Barbie soon. It makes it even worse because I actually saw Oppenheimer on the day that it came out with my dad, so I need to go watch Barbie and I'm really sorry. Barbie is going to be in my next media of the month, so stay tuned for that. So the next film that I'm going to be talking about is Little Miss Sunshine, and this is up there in my favourite films. I love this movie. It is just so wholesome. It's just so heartwarming, and I remember watching it when I was really young, and obviously I didn't really get it. I just remember watching it, but I've seen it so many times over the last couple of years, and I watched it again this month, and I think I just saw it in a whole new light. I also loved just seeing the cast in it. It has Paul Dano, Abigail Breslin, who else? Toni Collette, Steve Carell, which amazing actors, and I just love watching actors in their early careers. I think it's such a nice development when you watch them, you know, recently, and they're doing such great things, amazing films. And when you go back and watch them when they're kind of just starting, or not even just starting, but just when they look so young, I just think that is so great. It's so wholesome, and this film just shows a complex relationship with the family and the dynamics that go on with that. If you get to the pageant section of the film, it's not what they expected. The parents and the older brother are not happy with it. They see through the superficial nature of beauty pageants, and they are scared, and they don't want the little girl to go through with it. It ends up just being so funny, it's so beautiful, it's so wholesome, and I could watch this movie 10 times over. I loved it so much. It was just a nice watch. I saw it on Disney Plus, and I just thought, it's time. There's certain times when you just need to rewatch a lovely wholesome film like that, and for this month it was Little Miss Sunshine. So the final film I'm going to be talking about in the category of coming of age indie movies is Gothica, and it's got Halle Berry in it, and I'd never actually seen it. I saw it on Prime, and when I haven't seen a movie before that I feel like I should have, I just need to watch it because I feel like I'm missing out on something. So I went and watched it. I really liked it. It was just one of those like classic horror movies, and I just put this under this category because I feel like it didn't really fit in any of the other categories that I've got going on, and I guess it is kind of coming of age indie. Yeah, I don't know. It had Penelope Cruz in it, which she played this other character, supporting role to the protagonist. It was just one of those movies where I was like, okay, like what's going on? And then it had this crazy plot twist, and yeah, but it was really good. It also had Robert Downey Jr. in, which surprised me. I just didn't expect him to be there. Basically the film just followed a story of a psychiatrist. She ends up being in the psych ward that she works at. Well, it's more of like a prison for the criminally insane, but she ends up in it because she kills her husband, and it just follows the story of what actually happened. There's a bit of horror. She gets possessed, she starts seeing things, they think she's crazy. That is the premise of the film. Yeah, I liked it. It was good. I wasn't overly like, oh my god, this is amazing, but it was a good watch. I enjoyed it. And yeah, I haven't really seen much of Halle Berry's films. I've seen a couple, but I just thought, let me take this off a box. So yeah, so that was the coming of age indie films that I saw this month. So the next section of this video is going to be called British gritty movies that I watched this month. I watched The Gentleman, which was an 8-episode series, and I'm pretty sure it's from the film The Gentleman, but I'm not sure. I need to check on that. But directed by Guy Ritchie, it had Theo James in it, Kea Scodelario from Skins, and I actually really enjoyed this. I didn't expect to like this so much. The brother irritated me so much. Like, I just wanted to like punch his character in the face. He just pissed me off. But anyways, regardless of that, Theo James They Could Never Make Me Hate You. I kind of watched it because he was in it, but it was on like the top watch for the UK, so I thought, let me watch this. I would definitely recommend it. It was just one of those like crime British films, but I loved the little twist that it had. It was just one of those shows where, you know, something goes wrong, someone gets killed, some deals go wrong, the protagonist wants to join the crime scene, and yeah, it was not predictable, but it was just one of those like, okay, like I can see where this is heading. So it was quite funny, and I love that. I love it when it's just, you know, a TV show's not too serious. I mean, I do love my serious TV shows, but I love how it had this comedic aspect to it, and hopefully they make a season 2, and hopefully they don't ruin it, because, you know, sometimes when Netflix puts a show out and then the first series is so good and then they make another one and then it just goes really bad, I kind of fear that for The Gentleman. So if the producers are not going to be watching this, but somehow pass the message on to them, don't ruin it, you know, keep it good, keep it simple. Yeah, so many Netflix shows they just get ruined after the first season, and I'm just like, why are you doing that? Like, there's no need. And yeah, but The Gentleman, enjoyed. Now, so the next part of British gritty movies is the classic Nil by Mouth, and this is directed by Gary Oldman, and this was actually a recommendation from my dad, and I had to watch it. I got a BFI subscription, and if you haven't already, you can get a free subscription to the BFI, which is the British Film Institute, and there's so many great movies on there, and this was on there, so I had to give it a watch. And this movie is insane. The acting from Ray Winston and Kathy Burke was actually incredible. Like, there was points of this film that I literally had to pause it and I could not watch, like how realistic the acting was. I thought it was just going to be a classic, like, just British film. Like, I kind of thought it would be like The Business. I don't know if you've seen The Business, but just that sort of thing, you know, like Danny Dyer, like that vibe. But it was just like insane. Winston's character, that in itself is just, ooh, the emotion, the drama, everything. Even the cinematography on this, I really enjoyed. There were so many scenes that, from watching it, it just tells you a lot about the characters. The first scene of this kind of gave you a big insight into how this film would go. It focuses on a group of friends. It basically zooms in on the main character of this film, which is Ray Winston's character, but in the first scene his friend is going on this massive tangent and you could just see him in the foreground and he's just like not saying anything, he can't contribute much, and it basically zooms in on him as the first scene goes on, and then it goes on to tell his story where, I guess, in a social setting amongst his friends, he seems like this passive person who doesn't have too much authority, but then in his own home where he is an authoritative figure as a male, he feels the need to show that in some extreme ways. The film does get quite graphic and scenes of violence, which to the points where I literally had to pause it because I was like, this is insane, but definitely watch it. I'm pretty sure it won a BAFTA for this, and I can see why. It was incredible, and yeah, 10 out of 10. I need to watch it again. I need to do some analysis on Nil by Mouth, but loved it. Great film, and it's one of the best British films that I've seen, so that is up there in my list. Now, the final British gritty film that I watched, well, not all of them are gritty. I would say only Nil by Mouth, but I'm just gonna call it that for entertainment purposes. But the last British film that I watched was Layer Cake, which had Daniel Craig in it, and I can see why he was cast as James Bond, because he just does all these types of films. But again, classic British film, Tom Hardy, like, you know the vibes. But I actually really enjoyed this. It was kind of long for what it needed to be, but I had a good storyline and I didn't know what was going on. Like, so many films I honestly just guess what happens in it, and then I end up really disappointed because I just don't sit through and enjoy the film. But I actually was like questioning what's going on, like what's happening, and I had a nice chronology to it where it basically showed a part, went back in time, went forward in time, which I really enjoyed, and I really like this film. And yeah, it's just one of those classic British crime movies. Yeah, this cast of Layer Cake was just one of those, like, let's just drop in every British actor that plays that sort of role in crime movies, they were all in it. Like, as soon as I saw Tom Hardy, I just knew where this film was gonna go. I was actually just bored on Netflix and I just didn't have anything else to watch, and it was on my list, so I watched it, and that was that. But yeah, this was British gritty films that I watched. Now on to beautiful all-around films. This is my favorite section of the video because I love me a beautifully shot film with a beautiful storyline. First one I'm going to be talking about is Moonlight. I've seen twice now. The first one I watched it, I don't remember watching it, so that's why I went and watched it again. I think I first watched it last year and then I went back and watched it obviously this month, and the cinematography in this is insane. Also the storyline just goes through a couple sections, like the film split up into sections. It has a really nice ending to it, but the cinematography just stood out to me. It really reminded me of an exhibition that I went to in 2021, which was called In Praise of Still Boys, and I'm going to include some clips. In Praise of Still Boys is basically a kind of visual documentary art exhibition thing, which is about, I guess, growing up in Sierra Leone from the perspective of the artist. The scenes of blue, like the colour blue. Maybe I should change my lighting to blue, just because of that. Moonlight was just beautiful. I loved as well how it just goes through the story from when he's a kid up until he's an adult, and you just see his progression into adulthood and how he comes to terms with his sexuality and deals with his family trauma. And I would just like to say everyone needs to watch this film. It's currently on BBC iPlayer, so if you're in the UK, go and watch it. So the lighting has changed many times throughout this video, but I hope you enjoy it anyways. But on to the next section of beautiful all-around movies is Guava Island, which I've been waiting to watch for so long and I've just never got around to it, but it was on Prime, and yeah, so I went and watched it. It's got Childish Gambino and Rihanna in it, and this was a lovely little short film, and I mean, it was lovely. It was also a little bit sad, but I loved it. I love how it was shot on like a short aspect ratio. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, but it's just a bit, it's not like that, it's like that. It felt nostalgic watching it, and the music in it. I also realised that, I don't know which way around, but This Is America was either based on it or the movie was based on the song. I'm not really too sure, but I loved this. This was beautiful, and Rihanna's acting skills are just insane. Like, she could do anything, honestly. Love her. I talk about Rihanna like I've met her. I haven't met her, maybe one day. Yeah, Guava Island was, I just loved the storyline and the beauty of music and living in a world where if people try to stop it, like, there's this resistance that music and culture has, which even if it's stopped, people keep going. Music will always keep people together and form a community, which beautifully was shown in this short film. So that was beautiful all around movies that I watched, and this is one of my favourite sections of the video, so yeah. Now for the final section of this video. I feel like I should change the lighting because it's the final section. Oh, pink is cute. Or red. Okay, I'm gonna go red. So for the last part of this video, I'm going to be talking through films that I watched in the cinema, and I watched 2 in cinemas this month, and the first one I'm going to be slightly biased to because I'm in it, so I had to plug that in, but I watched Tribal Mark and I went to Everyman Cinema, and it was a great experience. I went with my family, and this film is just amazing, obviously because I'm in it, and it was directed by Hector Dockrell, and the cast are insane. I'm so grateful to have been involved in this film, and it was amazing watching it back. It felt very surreal seeing myself on a screen, but yeah, I played the role Chantel, which was really cool, and if you saw it, let me know. But yeah, I had my little cameo in there. I will try include some photos, but this film was insane. It's a lovely little short film, and basically follows the story of Mark, who comes over from Nigeria to the UK, and it basically just shows I guess, a struggle faced moving to a new country. The Tribal Mark is Skepta's first film, and it was insane, and just seeing how it was produced was just on another level. This is a story which shows the birth of a hitman, and it starts off when Mark is really young, and by the end of it he is a hitman, so you should definitely go watch it. It was actually insane getting to be in a film. I've always wanted to be in a film, and it just kind of came about. So that was my debut little film that I was in, and watching it in the cinema just added to the experience. It was very surreal watching myself, and until it came out I was just wondering like what is it gonna look like what am I gonna look like. I just was watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, like that is me. So I feel like I need to get an IMDb page. Yeah, now for the final film that I watched in the cinemas. And just quickly, I have refound a love for going to the cinema. I feel like I used to go all the time when I was younger. It was just one of those activities you did in like secondary school, and I hadn't been in ages, and I went with my friends the other week, and it was just such a beautiful experience, and it was just so lovely getting some popcorn. Just such a lovely experience, just sitting there with friends. It's dark, no one's talking, you've got your overpriced Tango Ice Blast and your overpriced popcorn, and I feel like that just adds to the experience. So I'm gonna start going to the cinema more often to watch stuff. And I also love that they show old films, which is just amazing. So I'm just gonna be checking up on View website to see what they're showing, and I've actually got a View just next to me, so it's kind of perfect. The last film that I watched, which was the film that I went with my friends to watch, was Iron Claw, and I was shocked by this. I just thought it would be one of those like sport biopic like movies, nothing crazy happens, but this was really emotional. Like it really like pulled some heartstrings there. Everyone's acting was insane. It also had Jeremy Allen Scott in it as well, and they play brothers. Well, they're small brothers. I won't spoil this film because it's kind of just come out, so you probably haven't watched it. It was so sad at the end. Like at the end, me and my friend were like holding each other's hands, and it was just a lot. But Iron Claw would 10 out of 10 recommend. Basically just showed a story of, obviously besides the wrestling aspect, I guess a story of family dynamics, loss, grief, heartbreak, and this kind of, I guess, running theme of, you know, achieving your dreams, and I guess the kind of satisfaction that comes with achieving it, and then I guess this long-term satisfaction that I guess is lost when you just kind of find the next thing to go to. The dad pushes them to pursue wrestling, as you can see he didn't, and he wants to fulfill that in his sons, and he pushes them too hard. I'm not gonna say what happens, but he takes it too far, and I didn't realize it was a real story until the end, which just, yeah, so it was crazy. Yeah, it was really sad but really good. Yeah, I just kind of went into it thinking that it was a wrestling film, and it was more than that, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's still in the cinemas, but I'm not sure. You can probably find it online somewhere, but I mean, not to recommend that, but you probably could. But yeah, so that was all of the films that I've watched this month in March, and I'm gonna be doing another one of these for what I watched in April. So like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and if you want to see more content and see what I watched in April, well, see what I will watch in April, then subscribe. I had to kind of keep this short. Well, not really short, but I'm prone to going on tangents, so I just have to keep a level on it. So let me know if you end up watching any of these, or if you have watched any of these, and yeah, I will see you in my next video. So bye.